Hello, and welcome back to Lyre. What was the Wolfie boy's name? It was a Lyall, right? Yeah, he's still pretty cute. And I don't entirely remember. I don't think a lot happened, right? Sorry, this is a new day. I only recorded one part before because I'm a bad person at scheduling my own recording sessions, but you know how it is. He shuffled through the doorway, and it closed behind him with a soft thud. The silence settled over Leaf once Leaf leaves. Okay. Lyle is clearly uncomfortable with it, so he speaks up. Leaf usually knows what he's talking about, but are you sure you're okay? He gives me a look of concern for a moment, but then his eyes dart, first to the floor and then to the room. Aside from my body feeling sore, after being awake for a bit, I feel better. I feel good enough, I guess. He looks at me with a smile and adjusts himself. Okay. Well, if you want to get dressed, your clothes and other things were brought up. He gestures over to the corner of the room where I can see my trunks and belongings. Even though I'm wrapped in bandages around my torso, I still feel undressed. So I guess putting on some clothes would definitely help. I make a motion to rise, but Lyle shoots me a worried look. Maybe I could get you something to wear. Oh, sure. Just the outfit from the trunk over there. You point to the trunk on the left, which has the outfit I was going to wear when I met the king. He makes his way over to the pile of trunks. His cape glides across the floor behind him with each careful step. Lyle looks very out of place in this room. Everything looks so small compared to him. He bends down and unlatches the trunk. I see him pause to look at its contents, then proceeds to curiously sift through it. His ears perk up really high when he finds the outfit. He clumsily stands from his kneeling position, and walks over to the side of my bed, carrying the outfit. It's nothing too fancy. I may have some form of noble status, but I don't tend to overplay it. It is, however, the nicest outfit I own that fits the climate. The main part of it are made from cotton, and bits of silk here and there. There is a basic undershirt with flowy sleeves and a slight ruffle. The trousers are layered and fit tightly, and tight fitting, with pockets on sides. Ooh, now that's a bonus. Tailcoats usually are not my favorite article of clothing to wear. Usually I lean towards robes and jackets. There is some fur in there, in a small scarf, yes, that I can wrap around my neck and tuck into the vest. Lyle places the outfit on the bed and takes a step back. Is this the one? He says this with a bit of worry, as if he made the wrong decision. Yeah, this is it. I sit up and grab onto the pair of pants. I go to change and realize what's wrong with this. Should I bathe first? Lyle looks at me with a dismissive gaze, then talks. You smell fine to me. I guess someone like him would be the best judge of that. I go to unbutton my trousers, but stop, realizing that he's watching. Do you mind looking the other way? Oh, of course. He quickly turns on his heel and stands at the other side of the room, staring out the window, the light eclipsing around his dark fur. I take off my trousers and undergarments, putting on a fresh pair, and then fasten the new slacks. As I secure the last button, I lift my head and speak in his direction. Okay, you're good. Sorry. He turns away from the window quickly, as he was frustrated with something happening outside. I reach down for the shirt and bring it up over my head. As my arms rise above my head, I feel a sharp pain in my side and wince. Lyle clearly sees this. Maybe I should help. No, it's fine. I just need to... I slide my arms through the sleeves, and my head pokes out through the collar. Before I'm able to finish putting the vest on, Lyle is walking around to the other side of the bed, carrying the coat tail. He lifts it up, motioning to me to put me in. Wait, he lifts it up, motioning to put it on me. Okay. He drapes the coat over me slowly, with the collar fitting around my neck. I carefully embrace it and start putting it on. So, you're going to be my guard?
If you'll have me.
He says this with a solemn look on his face. I guess it wouldn't hurt. I really don't mind. I don't know if I'll need the protection, but it's always nice to be prepared. It's also nice to have a guide of sorts to show me around.
It definitely would help. Almost half of your men were wiped out in that disaster. The king thought that you could use some extra paws, and I could show you the castle and escort you into the town.
I would like that a lot, although I don't know if I'll have the time for it. That sounds nice.
The king also thought that you might like to have someone in a high position that you can trust.
He says this with a certain proudness in his voice and a slight smile. I decide to humor him. What makes you think I trust you? He stops moving one of the sleeves up my arm for a moment, then starts again, and his mouth twists into an embarrassed smile. Don't worry, I jest.
Very funny.
Look at this grumpy face. He grumbles to himself as I fasten the buttons on the front. So, you watched me while I slept? He's taken aback by this statement.
I'm your guard. I was stationed outside your room to keep watch. Believe me, it's not something I wanted to do. It's not like you're in any danger.
Why were you up at night? Do you take both day and night shifts?
I don't need to sleep all that much. Plus, I feel more awake at night.
Oh yeah, I've heard that some races don't need as much sleep. Maybe 3 to 4 hours within a 24-hour period. I guess that's good for someone in his position. Well, it's fine. Again, I was only joking. I do enjoy watching this wolf get flustered.
You're just full of jokes, aren't you?
He shakes his head with a slight smile, sighing as he looks at the floor, one of the teeth hanging out of his mouth in a goofy way. I take this moment of silence to get down to business. Does the king request my presence? I realize that it was a bit foolish of me to dress for the occasion before even considering that I might not even get to meet the king today. I'm just looking forward to meeting him and discussing certain matters that pertain to my job.
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure the king knows that you're awake at this moment, but I assume he will find out shortly. Most likely you'll be able to speak with him during supper tomorrow.
That does sound interesting. I definitely wouldn't mind having a nice meal right now. Speaking of supper, I'm very hungry.
Don't worry, that's already taken care of. Leaf would have sent for one of the servers to bring you some food by now. Especially since you haven't been fed,
but they won't have to
feed you with that weird tube.
Did they seriously have to do that? I feel sick at the thought.
Only twice, and don't worry, it's not that bad. That little twerp may be a bit weird at times, but he knows his way around medicine, and he has been able to achieve things most wouldn't even imagine to be possible.
Lyle has an odd relationship with the bird. It sounds like he respects him, though. From what I've seen, he seems to know his way around his work, and I trust him. He seems pretty jumpy, though. I wouldn't imagine he's the best at surgery. Then again, I'm still here. Unless he had help.
So, how did you find yourself in your position?
Well, that came out of nowhere. I think for a moment about what I should say. I don't want to give away too much about myself. Well, I was granted nobility in the West, and I'm good at what I do. At least I like to think that I am. Sometimes I feel like I was carried through my position. The look on Lyle's face tells me that was a bit too vague.
What? That's it?
He has an unsatisfied look on his face, but then he shrugs.
I'm sure there's more to it.
Well, if I'm going to tell you my life story, you better tell me yours. And I'll need a drink.
Deal.
Okay. It's not even the 18th hour by the time the sun dissipates behind the mountains, and I'm forced to light a candle. I've taken off most of my outfit, folded it, and set it down in the corner for tomorrow. Lyle is reclined in one of the chairs, telling me about when he was a squire, when there is a knock at the door. His ears perk up and he sniffs at the air.
I thought I smelled food.
Really? Because all I can smell is wine. He stumbles getting up, yet confidently walks over to the door. Though he tried to hide it, he is a bit tipsy. He opens it and greets the server. A cart is pushed in as Lyle steps back. The cart is filled to the brim with all different types of food. I see roasted duck, cooked fish, all laid on greens surrounded by vegetables. I recognize these delicacies due to them being abundant where I'm from. There's some bread and cheese, with a weird sauce in a bowl off to the side. On a side tray, there's a fresh bottle of wine that, with what looks to be a piece of mint. Thank you. I call out to the server standing in the doorway. He nods in acknowledgement of me and leaves. Lyle stands there for a moment before adjusting his cape.
Well, enjoy your food.
He makes to leave the room, but I speak up. Oh, you're not going to join me? He pauses for a moment and turns to answer.
That's very generous of you, but I'll go eat in my quarters later. Besides, I already rated you of your wine. And I have stuff that I need to do.
I'm sad that I have to see him go, but he also looks a bit conflicted. I don't think I can be alone right now. I need some company after everything that's happened. Oh, come on, I insist. Besides, this is way too much food, even for someone who hasn't had a proper meal in days. He turns away from the door before closing it, with a smile on his face.
Well, if it's okay with you then, I guess I can stay.
He walks back over to one of the chairs and sits down. I take a bunch of the food and put it on my plate. The fish looks really good, so I grab some of that first. There's a piece of parchment placed in the center of the tray. I pick up the note and read it. Enjoy. R. R? Okay. Maybe that's the chef. Once I'm done, Lyle begins filling up his plate. He takes quite a bit of it, and most of the duck is gone by the time he's done plating his food. And I thought that I was taking a lot. He plops into his chair and starts to eat. After a few minutes of somewhat quiet eating, he continues his story.
Yeah, anyway, I was a squire for Lord Brine up until the age of 19. Then I made an anointed knight by the king.
Wow, that's a really young age to become a knight. And now you're a captain?
Yep.
How old are you now?
22.
You're captain of a guard and you're only 22? I blurt this out before immediately regretting it. I'm only just about to turn 20, and I'm already being sent far away on diplomatic missions, so I guess I shouldn't be talking. But still, most people aren't even knighted until they're 21.
Believe me, I was just as surprised as you are. But a captain usually has a next in line selected in case they die. When Sir Runar died, he had chosen me as his successor. Everyone said that he was grooming me for command, but I didn't suspect it. The king was pleased with his thought, with the thought, with this though, so I didn't question it.
He grabs a grape, plops it in his mouth, and chews it with a distant look on his face. Did you not want to be captain? He stops chewing for a moment, then keeps going.
It's something that I wanted, but it just happened so fast.
Yeah, I understand. It must be stressful being put into a position like that so fast. Well, I'm sure you're doing a great job.
I hope so.
He takes another drink from his cup. I take another bite from my fish. It's soft and basically melts in my mouth. I don't like fish. I would have taken that duck though. Taken it before this wolfie does. It's the best food I've had in a long time. Maybe it's because I'm so hungry. The fish tastes much different from the fish off the coast of Erin. Erin. I can't pronounce names. Look at the. Why is there a Y there? How am I supposed to pronounce this? Lyle empties his cup and then reaches for the pitcher to pour some more.
Rickert.
Rit. Wait, I keep wanting to say Rickert. Is that correct? No, there's not a T at the end. Richter? Ritter? Oh god, none of these videos have gone live. No one's able to post comments to help me here. Oh,
Richter. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Huh. You looked a bit older than 19 to me.
I cock an eyebrow at him.
Not that that's a bad thing.
Well, the same can be said for you, Scruffy. I jokingly jab my finger across my right eye. What? Yeah, my eye, hinting at a scar.
I guess so.
He reaches up and rubs a paw over his eye while chuckling. How did you get it? If you don't mind me asking. He contemplates for a moment, then pours more wine.
I'll tell you that story someday. And I'll need a lot more wine than this.
He lifts the bottle and sloshes it around slightly. His speech is a bit slurred due to the drunken state he's in. He takes a big drink from his cup and lowers it with a satisfied exhale. It must be interesting.
That's one way to describe it.
He picks up his empty plate and sets it on the tray. I'm finishing a piece of bread when I notice his eyes light up.
Can I have this piece of mint?
He holds up the little bundle of leaves. Yeah, you can have it.
Thank you. Mint is my favorite.
He pops a piece of it into his mouth and chews on it in pure bliss, his tail wagging. I finish my plate and place it on the tray. I'm feeling really tired now that I have some food in my stomach. I can tell Lyle senses this.
Thanks for letting me eat with you, but...
He gets up from his chair with a grunt and pats his stomach.
I should, probably be going. And I'm sure that you're going to have a busy day tomorrow.
He starts walking towards the door. No need to thank me. You're good company. He smiles and opens the door.
Have a good night, and I'll be guarding the hall for a bit, if you need anything.
Good night. He kind of stumbles through the door, and it closes with a thud. I take off the rest of my outfit, blow out the candle, and then fall into bed. Today was certainly a strange day. I've only been awake for a couple hours, but I feel so tired. My sides still feel a bit sore, but it should get better with time. Lyle and Leaf seem really nice, especially Lyle. I'm glad that I was in their care while I was out. I can't help but be excited to meet the king tomorrow. It may be boring, but I'm actually looking forward to my job. The wine gets me, and I slowly drift off. Chapter 2, Day 2. Okay. Wait, are the chapters days? Is that is that something I should be the expecting? But anyway, I will end the part here, everyone. So I will see you around.